it right there, perfect.
What's going on, guys? We're out here at Callaway in California, Ely Callaway Performance Center. Gonna get fit for the first time ever in my life. I've been playing golf for 20 years, but I've never been professionally fit. Now, I'm a taller guy. A lot of people are saying, dude, do you play kids clubs when I'm hitting? Because I'm kind of bent over and my clubs look so small, but we're gonna see today. We're gonna have a professional fitter here, somebody who fits PGA Tour players. Take a look at my swing. We're gonna go all the way from driver, irons, wedges, and even the putter. So it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna learn a lot of things today. So I think this is gonna be a great video for you guys watching at home. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe. Let's get right into the fitting. All right, first things first, we're gonna hit a few, get warm here, and then we're gonna test some clubs.
You're gonna turn it over more as you get it upright.
Okay, this is John Deegan. He's gonna be taking care of me today. He's been fitting tour pros here for years and years. Really knows what he's talking about. I told him I'm toe down right now with my iron contact, and I'm thinking about going a little more upright, so he's talking to me about lie angle and everything I need to know there.
Just to say that you might test on a lie board and say your club is scraping on the toe does not mean you need to necessarily bend your clubs upright just to fit that test. If you start, a better player starts releasing the club and fighting the ball hooking, then you're in trouble there too. So I will see more tour pros err towards a flatter lie just so they do not fight the hook. They can cut it easier, basically. Gotcha. So gotcha. All that comes into play. So we got to be careful we don't just bump it up just because we're hitting a little toey or you're seeing a toe down divot, that kind of thing. You know the difference in our pro irons, the cup face versus the non-cup face? Like your Apex Pros,
right?
And this year's Apex Pro has a cup face in it. So the ball comes off a little faster,
right?
A little less spin, goes a little further. The X-Forge cavity back does not have a cup face, and our muscle back does not have it also. Then there's a version of the Apex Pro that Xander and Rahm play. It's called Tour Cavity Back, does not have a cup face.
Gotcha. All right, so John's gonna start right away. I kind of talked to him about how I'm a 1/4 inch long right now, but I want to maybe get a little bit longer, so we're going 1/2 inch longer, and we're gonna go with the cup face, the brand new Apex Pro iron that's so beautiful and sexy. I've had my eye on this, so I can't wait to hit it and give it a try here. I don't think it's too much different than the Apex Pro I'm working right now. It looks like maybe just a little more of a thinner top line, right? A little
a little bit shorter than the other one, the X-Forge cavity back.
Right.
Right, a little shorter heel to toe and a little less offset compared to that model, but pretty similar to what you're used to.
All right, cool, let's hit some. All right, so this is not upright.
That is upright.
It is upright, how much?
That's a 2-degree upright club head.
Okay.
This guy, take pictures and then
Did a lot of spin there.
7,200.
Is that a lot for a 700?
It's on the high side, yeah. So then if that's the case too, you'd probably hit the cup face better in a better spin range. So you're going to pop another 300 or 400 with the non-cup face. Exactly. So you might like those.
So I've been playing the Project X 6.5 for a while now. John thinks I should maybe try a different shaft. What are you thinking, John?
Well, I think at your speeds, you put 95 miles an hour on a 7-iron. So instead of being a 6.5, we can try a 7.0, or we can even go to a KBS C-taper, which is geared a little more for lower flight, lower spin.
I'd love to see that.
You got a lot of speed and a lot of height on these shots. So let's see if we can get something a little flatter.
So far, we went 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch longer and 2 degrees more upright, and it feels a lot better, to be honest. He thinks we possibly should be using a little bit of a different shaft. I agree, at least try it, see how it feels. The longer you get on the shaft, obviously the stiffer you need to be, because it's going to be, you know, a lot more softer at that point. Going to a non-cup face is probably not the right move for me, so the X-Forge are probably out of the equation, because I like a little more of a lower spinning iron like the Apex Pro. So we're going to try the new different shaft and see how that works. All right, one thing I've never had done was measure wrist to floor, so John's going to do that for us right now.
This is your wrist to floor when we put it on the ground. We've got a fairly generous range on the standard, but if you're starting to get up into 36, 37, it'll be a little bit longer. Yeah, so you are, yeah, you could definitely try something longer. You're up here almost at 38.
Wow.
Up here.
Gotcha.
So we can try anywhere from a 1/2 inch to an inch over. So I think your 1/4 is too short.
Being tall it doesn't matter. It's all about like your arm length to how tall you are, right?
Sure
I mean,
is,
everyone can be like, you can be a tall player and play standard clubs, and you can be a short player and play over clubs, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
like,
cool.
I'm 6'3" and I have long arms, so I play a 1/4 inch over. But my wrist to floor is also way down here around 35.
35.
You're
and
up there around 38.
I'm near 38, so I need something. I thought so. I thought I need that, so I need to try something even longer. What do you think? 1 inch or something like that?
Yeah, let's hit this C taper and a half over, and then I'll get an inch. The same head you hit in the 6.5. Let's see if we see any difference in spin. Then we know if the shaft's doing anything for us or not. Otherwise, it might come out of feel for you. Like that one you just hit. That one actually was 6,400.
With lower
back spin. Yeah, more penetrating flight for sure.
I need that.
You might like this. Might be your new serve, Josh. We do a little 130 at an inch over.
All right, so some takeaways here early on. I was getting like over 7,000 spin with my 7-iron before, and I think that's a little bit too much for me. I hit a little bit higher ball with too much spin, so I'm looking for something a little bit lower, less spinning. The C taper shaft KBS that he put me in so far, after hitting like 5 or 6, it's been consistently in like the 6,500 range. So I'm down a few hundred RPMs on the spin, just going with the KBS shaft here instead of the 6.5. So we're gonna try now like an inch longer. This is about 1/2 inch. John thinks an inch longer might even be better for me. It's gonna be a little bit weird swinging it. Let's see how we do here.
So we're going C taper 130X, 1 inch longer. But this fits your wrist to floor. You check into an inch over, not a quarter.
Oh, good, little heel contact. Felt pretty good though for the most part.
Yeah, so some of your toe contact could have been your length too, Josh.
Yeah.
It could have been length more than line.
Too.
Yeah.
And I'm bending over more, and now I may even be standing up out of it more. And
I could actually see the short club hitting off the toe more than I'd worry about the line going.
right.
What does the length feel like? Because it's a big change.
No, obviously, it's probably gonna feel more like a 5-iron, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see like wedges. Like I'm worried about like 60-degree wedges.
Do you see a bow wedge?
What's that spin at?
65, 67. Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're in a good range.
All right, so I'm loving the inch longer, more upright, but I think what we're gonna try to do is I'm gonna look at a 60-degree wedge, because my concern is my wedges, which I hit pretty good, you know, especially my 60-degree wedge around the green. How am I gonna feel about an inch longer shaft around the green for sand shots and chip shots, stuff like that? So I'm a little bit concerned, but we're gonna try this 60, an inch longer, hit some full shots, hit some pitches, some chips, see how that feels and go from there. But so far, loving the inch longer, 2 degrees upright, KBS, 130 C taper, feeling a lot better for me right now. My spin's a lot lower. This fitting so far has been crucial, so really, really excited about this. All right, we got 60-degree wedge, 1 inch longer.
Driving irons.
All right, so loving it so far. Looks like we're gonna go 4 through A wedge on the Apex Pros, the new ones. Now we are gonna go 50-degree wedge, 55 and 60. We're gonna start with the 54 and bend it to 55. He's gonna let me get a little more bounce, John said, which I think would be huge, coming a little bit too steep. The A wedge and the 50 will be very similar to each other, similar lofts. So it's gonna be up to me to figure out which one I like to hit better. I'll probably be hitting the 50 better, but hey, if they're gonna send me the A wedge, I might as well get it. So yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good there. Off to a good start. 1 inch longer though. This is a big change for me. You know, hitting them good here. Hopefully I hit them good, you know, back at home, but now working into getting fit for the driving iron, 3 wood, and then the driver, and go on from there. All right, look at this bag of goodies right here.
Got all kinds of them for you.
Some hybrids, some driving irons. This is where it's at right here.
All right, so try some driving irons.
What do we got here?
Got 18 degrees.
They're the X-Forged.
New X-Forged utilities.
Love it.
We're going to try one with the KBS 95X shaft, and then one with an X100. We got 236 carry, 255 total. That thing's 233, 260. Try this one, see if the weight feels easier for you. Even though this is a heavy graphite, it's not the weight of steel.
There's something I would expected to happen, but that's what showed up.
Yeah, so if you had gotten this in the face more often, I'd order the C taper.
All right, just fell in love with another 2-iron there. I mean, we're kind of breezing through this, John. I feel like
you're making it easy.
I feel like we're you know, you're hooking me up here. This guy's, if you're ever here, you probably won't be watching this, but I don't want you to flex like that. But if you're ever here, ask for this guy, John. He's awesome.
You're making it easy by hitting him solid.
All right, we're trying the Epic Speed 3 wood here. 15 degrees launch. First look here, I actually love the way it looks. I think it looks way better than my Epic Flash. Not just saying that, I really like that look. like that.
Hit my shot, run over here.
266 carry, 291 total. Like that a lot.
Well, what I was thinking I would do as far as the build is something similar to Tour, to where you go 70-gram driver, 80-gram in a fairway. You have X's in both, and then your swing weights are like D3, D4, so you got some headmass to it.
I like that. All right, now for the big dog, what you guys are all been waiting for. Now, Callaway did just send me this head about 2 weeks ago. The shaft I have on here is a couple years old, so looking forward to seeing, you know, the different heads, giving them a try, trying some different shafts and see what's best.
If we need less spin, we go to the Max LS. But I like to start with kind of the middle of the road, which is the speed. The Max spins the most. Speed is right in the middle, and then we'll go to LS if we have to.
Okay, and this is the new Mitsubishi shaft that you talked about?
This is the new MMT, right? What they call it, micro mesh technology. Right, a little bit of metal wrapped into the shaft for stability. This is kind of one of the new hot ones on tour.
Love it.
A lot of players even using it in iron shafts.
Really?
There's iron shafts also, but it is a 70X. Okay. Woo! 170, 10 and a half, and 2350. 287, 313.
Well, I fade my driver, so. Yeah. What was it? That was 282.
All you can do is
there such thing as not spinning it enough?
Yeah. If you start getting below $2,000, the ball has no lift and falls out of the air.
Oh wow,
right?
I didn't know that. That's something
you want to have a certain amount of spin, both for control and for carry.
Gotcha.
And most of your tee shots with the standard speed were 10 launch and 2300. I love it.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Max LS is a lower spin version, little larger footprint. LS for low spin, and we have an adjustable weight on it. So I'm going to start this off just neutral for you.
Gotcha.
Kind of right in the middle, and see how it plays. So we're going to do same shaft, 70X, and then just straight up 9 degree.
Sweet.
So if your ball speed goes down now and your spin starts plummeting below $2,000, it doesn't fit you right.
Gotcha.
The CG is too low. Center of gravity is too low.
So this head's a little big. Wow.
A little bigger footprint. Same
Okay.
size head. They're all about 455. You got it.
I definitely see that difference. It looks like a bigger head at the top, but it's the same.
But does give you a little more forgiveness when you do that. You get a higher MOI.
Wow, the sound is so much different too.
A little louder.
I wasn't expecting that.
Not bad. 172 ball speed, 9 launch, and 2100 spin. That one was 9 and 2000, so you're at 275 carry.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
275 carry?
Yeah. Good ball speed still, 74, but the spin's a little low.
Speed, 15?
16.5. This is the other kind of popular shaft on tour. That's the black 7X. Fujikura Ventus.
It's a good drive, a good relay.
That's when it might stick in the bag.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Flying
A
right.
little higher launch?
Our standard length 45 and a half. Let's try a 47-inch shaft and see if you can crack 180 ball speed.
Alright, I love it. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a long one.
I wasn't like really on contract or whatever, so I was like, you know what? Good grace, I don't really care how.
Center punched it pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of hit pretty hard.
Ooh, 122 club head speed.
But I want to see my club head speed at 160.
179.6.
Oh, 179.6. All right, so that's it for out in the range here. We made some big changes. 1 inch longer, 2 degrees upright, different shaft. We fit for everything from wedges to 2 irons to 3 woods to driver. John's really hooked me up here. Now we're looking forward to going in and checking out the putters, plastics. Are we gonna do that out here? Or?
Do it inside.
Okay. Yep. And yeah, maybe make some big changes there. We'll see. All right, so we're in here about to test out some putters. John, tell us a little bit different about the toe hang, face balance.
Yeah. So these are our two ball 10s.
Yeah,
a couple of the latest models by Odyssey.
Love that.
They both have the single stripe across the top for alignment. You see the difference in the hosels.
Yep.
Right? You have a double bend and you have the short slant neck. The difference is the face balanced is the double bend. So when you hold this guy, totally face balanced, straight up, right?
Yep.
That's for a nice straight back, straight through stroke for a player trying to focus on that.
Right.
A little bit of toe hang comes into play when you go to this hosel. So you got a little more release of the face for a player who wants to put a little more arc on it and have a little bit more toe release.
Love that. And this is the putter that John Rahm's using, right?
It is.
Love this.
Yep.
I used to actually play a 2-ball in high school, for those of you that didn't know that. And since then I went to a blade, but now I think I'm gonna try to go back to the 2-ball. So let's hit a few putts here and see how it feels. All right, so just hit 4 putts here on the Sam Lab.
This is Science in Motion, Sam Putt Lab. You got it.
Okay. And what are we seeing here?
So this would be your first stroke that you took a second ago. This is the top view looking down, essentially kind of the ceiling view. So the interesting thing is you are not cutting across the ball, because we can look at there, the red line's your target line, so you must tour across.
Right.
Okay. And the other thing too is
looks like the face is moving a lot, no? Or is that?
No, it's not bad.
Not too bad?
Certainly there's an average amount of face rotation that you're going to see among tour pros. I wouldn't say, we'll see what that actual number is, but I wouldn't say just to my eye it looks like anything crazy. It doesn't look like over rotation for sure.
Right.
I mean, I would almost say that based on the amount of arc you have going back inside, at least while you're trying to do this, that you have maybe a little less rotation open on the backswing than I would see for the average guy.
I always figured my alignment's not great, but you're saying the alignment looks good.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with this putter, to be honest. With the 2 balls in the line, you know, me being a more of a blade putter, that could be a big part of it.
You know, 2-ball's been a very successful product for us. Not only do I think it, you know, people like the feel and the look of it, and people have had a lot of success with it, but just the science and the kind of the engineering behind the putter are solid. And so we do, you know, when you look at guys use that, especially if they use a line on the ball and they put the line on the 2 balls on the putter, when you start to correlate those things, it just gives people a better idea of where to point the face, which is, you know, doesn't guarantee a straight impact, but certainly gets you off to a good start. And that, you know, I don't see a lot of guys on tour that aim poorly and then deliver the face angle really good at impact. Usually those guys that are good at impact are also good at address. So
right.
Anything you can do to get started in the right direction is going to make your stroke more solid, more consistent, more repeatable.
Right.
And what's really nice about yours, I mean, if you look at the second and third one, so the 4 measurements of your alignment are on the left.
Right.
Your second and third one are hundredths of degrees, not even tenths of degrees. And that is outstanding. Now, what we'll see is the impact alignment here in a second. Now, the impact alignment is the more important thing.
Okay.
Right? Because
Right.
that's going to really determine what the ball does.
Right.
Here are your impact alignments.
Right.
So these are all actually just a little bit negative, meaning to the left of the target line, but only a whisker. You're 0.1, 0.5, 0.57, and then it gets a little bit more with the last one, 0.89. You're averaging half a degree. And so this is an important characteristic to get right in the swing. This is probably, if you had to pick, you know, of all the data that we can look at, if you had to choose one to be good at, this would be the one.
Right.
Okay, face angled impact.
Face angle impact.
Yeah, because the putter's only moving about 4 miles an hour. So at the slower speeds, like with a driver, the path and the face both play a dramatic role in you know, where the ball starts and the side spin and the back spin, you know, how the ball
Right.
rotates. And so in putting, because the putter's moving so slow, the velocity is so slow, the ball is essentially ricocheting 90 degrees to the face. You know, it's probably, you know, technically probably 93, 95%. But that face angle is almost entirely, you know, if you compare it to like the path angle, see that even if you had a guy that's the path angle is going way to the right or way to the left, he could have the face square and still make putts. It wouldn't be real pretty, but he could still make putts. I mean, you could write your name with your backswing. If you somehow figured out a way
To square
get
the
the face back to square, you could still make putts.
One of the biggest takeaways for me was how good my aim was in here. Like you were pretty impressed with it, and I think a big part of it is the 2 ball with the line here. I guarantee if I brought in my putter now, the blade, I wouldn't even be close to that. So I think this is going to be like a huge putter for me to help me like prevent like those pushes, especially on those shorter putts. So.
Yeah, no question. The other thing too is looking up at you, the fact that, you know, you look at the differential between someone's impact alignment and their address alignment, and your impact alignment and address alignment are very similar. So what that's telling me is you're going to hit it where you point it, so you have to point it well. So if you come up with a putter like that, where you've got the line on the ball, you've got the line on the balls on the putter, you make those things up, use that as kind of your side alignment system, you get off to a good start, you're going to make putts.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for sure.
All right, that's a wrap here from Callaway Ely Performance Center. It was an unbelievable experience. If you haven't been fit before, I know a lot of you guys aren't able to get fit like this, but go out to your local fitter and get fit, because I was using the complete wrong clubs for me. So I'm eager to see how my new set of clubs are gonna help my game. It's gonna be a big difference for me. I'm gonna have to work on it a lot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it was cool to bring you through here. A lot of really cool things going on here. If you haven't already, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. A lot of new content coming soon. Hopefully new content with these brand new awesome Callaway clubs that are really gonna help my game. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. This place has everything, but out here, you're gonna see 3 different little patches of green here. And what this is, they're actually different slopes. So this is 2 degrees of slope. That has 3 degrees of slope, and that has 4 degrees of slope. So if you guys aren't familiar, there's this way of reading putting greens called aim point. And you can come out here and train your body and your feet to know what 2, 3, and 4 degrees of slope feels like. So when you get out into a real green, you're gonna know that. So this place has everything you need to fit correctly. Awesome, huge putting green, beautiful range, TrackMan, every club and shaft configuration you could ever want, a beautiful indoor putting lab simulator, and so much cool stuff out here. So this place is absolutely amazing. This is where PGA Tour pros come to get fit, like Phil Mickelson, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and so much more. It's just really cool to be out here and get this full experience.